Morning everyone. Just thought I'd do a quick and dirty run through of how I got everything set up for Christmas this year before I take it down on this wonderfully nasty, very Pennsylvania-esque winter morning. So over here is a controller box. It's a kind of a medium size box that you'd often find on the side of your house for your cable connection. Just got one wire, two wires going back, one for power, and then that's the Ethernet cable up there on a timer, so I don't have the whole thing running 24/7. The orange cable goes out to the front yard to power the remote unit. I've got Ethernet in here to connect to the network and the internet, and then this is running out to that front remote box, which I'll show you guys in a sec. Open this up here and try not to splash a ton of water inside. Alright, so here you got the power supply. It's a 300 watt unit, 5 volt power supply, let's widen that out, there we go. That's a power distribution block like you'd find in your car. And then down here's the controller. That's a Culp F8B with the bugle bone green tucked there behind it. That's what's actually running the show. So you can see I'm not using a whole lot of ports. I only even wired up 4 out of the 8. And out of those I'm only using 3. I ended up not using all 4. Ethernet in, those are the remotes out. Back here we've got our Creative Sound Blaster, so that's the audio output. Cards connected via USB, and the little cheap FM transmitter. It worked pretty good this year. I think I actually had more issues with the Sound Blaster becoming unplugged, because it's kind of loose in there. More issues with the Sound Blaster coming unplugged than I did with that FM transmitter. It was pretty reliable given it's so cheap. I think the biggest issue I had with it was that little red wire back there is going to the and there we go, now you can see it. It's the solder connect. This is like the one thing I had to solder out of this entire show was this little board here for the power over there and the antenna right there. Antenna's coming out right here. I had and I just taped off the end here. I know that's not exactly proper, but it actually ended up working better. This is the antenna I built, but it didn't really work that well. It introduced a lot of interference, and I just unplugged it and it actually sounded great. Was able to drive the car around for about a block in either direction and get plenty of signal, so I don't think there was any issue with that. See a little Ethernet pass-throughs. I think I'm going to ditch these next year. I had a lot of issues, especially this bottom one. So I had planned this bottom one was going over here. That's why this cable is loose in here. And then these other 3 were for the 3 remote ports. But I had a lot of issues with this one, and I just could not get the Ethernet to run real well with these. It often disconnect and I have to wiggle the cable almost daily. Ended up having issue when I was gone over Christmas that it was disconnected for I think 3 days. And that was right after my show received a bit of publicity, and so a ton of people were coming over and emailing me why it wasn't working right. And that's what I had to tell them, is got disconnected and I can't fix it right now. So anyways, this is really it in the backyard. You can see kind of the cables that are running for the matrix on the other side of the fence here, but all these cables are running out front, so we'll jump around to the front yard and pick up there. Alright, so here's the side yard. You can see the house with the pixels on it. Got the little presents down there, the stakes, matrix back there, mega tree, mini trees, and arches. So I'm going up to now, here is the remote receiver box. So that's got the 1 power cable and data cable coming back. gonna cut these zip ties off so we can open it, show you what's inside here. This is just a little ammo crate. A lot of people buy these at Harbor Freight. It's actually been closed up all season, so it's good. Got no moisture in there. You can see I got another little power supply in there. It's a little 60 watt 5-volt supply, another receiver, or another power supply board, and another little receiver. And I'm only using 2 out of those, which is one that's heading over to the mega tree and the one that's going to everything else. And that's it on controllers. I'm a firm believer in maxing out your controllers. So this little 3,000 pixel show, which you see all right here, I'll run off of essentially 4 ports, because I'm only using 2 back there and the 2 that are up here. I know a lot of people buy a ton of controllers, and that's their choice. But for instance, though, they might place 1 controller here and run 1 output to every single one of these strands. I'm not about that life, so I've wired it in and power injected all the way across. So, and it worked really well. Had some issues with a couple dead ones, but power injecting fixed most everything. It's just about time to take it all down. So anyways, this is the mega tree. This is about here, back up. It's about 7-8 feet tall. So not mega, but it's still bigger than everything else. Got it staked in the ground here. I originally had these at 10-inch landscaping spikes and changed it to 2-foot rebar because this thing fell over halfway through the season. So that's going to be fun pulling it out of the ground. I might have to wait till spring and pull them out before I mow the lawn in the spring. But they all were staked in the ground with these type of stakes. Obviously further down on the ground than these are. But these are just Buscoyo strips. And it's a little kit that I got that has various hardware pieces needed. This little topper and the guy wire ring and the guy wires. So continuing up here, we've got the large mega tree from Buscoyo, small medium mega trees, I believe. Can't remember if they're small, medium, large, or just small and large, but either way, much bigger than these small guys, which I think look like Daleks from Doctor Who. But anyways, opted to not use the stars on the small ones, so I just felt like it was too much pixel string changes, because this one, it's 50 pixels and it's out of here. No need to change the string length on that. Oh, while I'm here, I'll just show you. Here's the data connections, and then this is the power injection wires. I'm actually only running power injection on the Matrix, the Mega Tree, and I've got the 1 power injection line that actually goes in between these mini trees and the arches, and that's it. As far as what most people think of power injection, everything up there is jumpered, and I'll show you that when I get up there. Arches, these are just 3/4 inch PEX tubing. I drilled and cut on 3/4 inch conduit with some painted rebar covers for the feet. And I've got the 1 power injection line running all the way to the end here, just because, you know, running 400 pixels on 1 output can be a bit much. Probably could have just jumpered around, and in effect that still is the case, because it's connected at this end and at that end. We've just got 5 volts coming in on this end here. So these were the late additions. These are the pixel stakes. Wife comes out after I get all this set up and says, hey, there's not enough in the middle of the yard. So I say, all right, I'm already at my budget. How much can I go over it? She said, well, see what you can do at $200. So this is what I came up with. It's not great. It's I didn't even use actual standard connectors and extensions. I just wired them all together using the little these little Scotch lock connectors, which are great. Would not have been able to pull this off without these guys. Probably went through a good 500-600 of them between all of these connections and the pixels that I need to replace. I still didn't even replace all the pixels in the matrix. I just got it up and was happy to get it up, and I could deal with 2 or 3 pixels being out in that 1500 pixel thing. But anyway, so I got 12 of these stakes of the 5 and 6 high versions, and 3 of these chroma presents. So those are all wired up because again, they were kind of a last minute addition, so I wired those all up on one output. And these are the snowflakes. So we've got 8 of them here. I'm probably going to add some more for next year. I'll talk about next year in a bit. So this is kind of what I mean by jumpering. So I've got jumpering power. So I've got the data line coming in here, the data and power, that's why it's 3, coming in off of the controller that's just behind the fence over there. So here I've got a branch with a 3 connector variety. I've got the regular data continuing on in this thick cord here, and then I've jumpered the power, and you can see I didn't even connect the data line on the jumper from here up to this connection up here, which is kind of hard to see, but it's going around to the other end of the pixel. So I'm injecting the first pixel, which is right here, and the last pixel, which I believe is this one right here. Just running over to this one. This one I didn't even jumper because it's so small. Run over here, you can see jumper data on that one. So it's literally jumping power around all of the pixels. Same here, jumper. See the power connection there. I use those automotive connectors for all the power injection. It's because they were pretty cheap. You get a set of 20 of them for $8 on Amazon. So those are all connected all the way up to the roof line, which this is probably the most DIY area, although I made all the arches myself. But I've also got, this is just PVC pipe. I realize I've got the wrong end on that now. Oh, you couldn't see it at night. I've got printing on the outside, and the printing should have all been on the inside. So anyways, these are 3 10-foot pieces of PVC pipe, 150 pixels. They're on little clips. Let's see if I can zoom out on that. They're on little clips there that are in the house. So all I have to do is just pull them out today. And that's that. But it kind of reflects off this edge. And I think it looks pretty good. So lastly, we've got the matrix over here. This is all running off of one port. So my culp can handle up to 1600 pixels off of one port. This is 1536 pixels. So it's 3 512 pixels. I think I got the matrices pretty close. At night you can't even tell this gap is here. This one you can. It's a little bit, this last one's a bit angled, but what are you gonna do? So anyways, the data is just connected between all of them, and then I've got power injection points all throughout here. You can see the little blue connectors, which surprisingly are invisible at night, which I was glad. These are all waterproof wire nuts, so they've got some dielectric grease in them, keep them from building up water inside. I I think they worked pretty well. They didn't have any issues with shorting or anything. So that is all the props. So lastly, I know this video is getting a little bit long. Next year, probably not going to add as many as we did this year, just budgetary wise, but I've got another 512 pixel string sitting in my garage from a vendor. One of these, I custom ordered the strings for the matrices, and one of them didn't work right at all when I got it, so I contacted the vendor I bought it from. He started working on sending me another set, but said I could keep the existing one. I was able to fix it, get it all working right, and so now I've got 4 sets of matrix pixels. So I'll probably add one more matrix panel down here. Obviously that'll go on another port because I've already maxed out this one. But I'll probably add another matrix panel to, let's see, that'd make it a 32-foot long matrix. Lastly, if budgets allow, pretty much right about where I'm standing, room for the tree here, thinking we'll try to put a 20-foot mega tree. Bascoyo has a big mega tree kit, I think is what they call it. Basically just buy a 20-foot fence rail and you can get a 20-foot mega tree out of it. So that'll go there hopefully, and should fill out this end of the yard pretty nice, because again it's pretty bare on that end. So that's pretty much everything. Thanks for sticking with this video all the way through the whole 17 minutes of this thing. Probably not really going to trim out anything on my computer. I'm just going to post this directly online. But thanks for watching. Thanks for a great season. And hopefully next year we'll have quite a bit more lights. Maybe that 20-foot mega will take a lot of pixels, so that might get us up to 5,000 next year. But in the meantime, hope I don't freeze all my fingers off taking this all down. And at least it shouldn't take as much time to come down as it did to put up. So, all right, thanks again for watching, and have a happy new year. And go Bucks! They're in the national championship in a week, so hoping they win that against Bama. So could probably keep this up, convince my wife to let me keep this up, make a victory sequence, but I think it's time to take this all down anyway. So all right, thank you very much. Happy New Year.